I'm inspired by thirst, I'm inspired by worth. I desire your worst, so you can just hide while I work. I ain't tired, you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the lies you go disperse. You never did I know it hurts, but something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can't and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Your lies, I'll do what I want.
And say, this session's done, hang up the call. But I knew this person wasn't ready for that. So I had to let them talk a little bit, about 15 minutes. Explain to them. I text them a clock. And it was a ticking clock. And I explained to them that, it will never be 6 p.m. on this day ever again. They're like, yeah. So you just wasted 15 minutes of your life, 15 minutes of your success, 15 minutes for someone waiting for you to get what. So if you wish to waste that time, I am the wrong coach. So going forward, if I have an assignment for you to do, that assignment needs to be done, or you need to text me and tell me that you're skipping that session, which you will pay for. I don't get refunds. But money is good, but time is the most valuable commodity. Things with that, I had to make sure that they were ready for that, but also to tone down my normal response. It would have been a lot harsher than that. But I had to tone it down a little bit to make sure that I didn't lose them in their being a new person, didn't lose them in their feelings too much.
It sounds to me like you have very good boundaries. Do you share your boundaries with them in the beginning of your expectations?
Yes, I do. Like I said, my contract is written as well. If you're 10 minutes late, then the session is done. Minutes. We now have 40 minutes. We don't need to go over time because my time is important and your time isn't. So those things I set ahead of time, and also verbally as well too. I set them as well too. If you have an assignment to do, if we're walking through something you're going through, I tell people all the time that nothing's new under the sun. Something you're going through has been written down somewhere. So if I give you something to read, if you don't read, do audio. There's some time you have in the car or you're walking or whatever you're doing, and do an audio book, because I've read the book that we're going over. I reread it already. I don't give you something I haven't read. So I know if you read it now. And so, yeah, I set the boundaries up front.
Well, James, if someone is struggling with something, do you allow them to text or call you in between sessions?
Yeah, there's different packages they can do. The top package is unlimited text, and calls as well also. But when you call me, we get on a Zoom or we get on FaceTime. I never coach on them. Never ever will I coach them.
Did you say you don't coach by phone? Is that what
I
you
do
said?
not. Yeah, never coach on them. It's if you call me, I'll get on FaceTime or we get on the Zoom call. But I never ever, no, will I ever coach on the phone? Because you lose.
Why is that? You can't see the visual, their facial expressions?
Yeah, I have a gift of, I've studied years ago reading body language, reading emotions, reading facial. So I want to make sure that you're getting all that you paid for, and I'm giving you all that I'm assigned to give you. So the phone takes off almost all of the conversation.
Aren't there times, James, where you might be late?
No. No.
You sound
Learned as a child, my dad said, if you're not 30 minutes early, you're late. So I've had to give people leniency on that. As far as them showing up for a schedule at 6, to show up at 6, that's fine. But I'm actually sitting there on the Zoom usually at 5:30. So I have that room between clients for restroom breaks and so forth. But yeah, my kids will used to call me a tyrant on time. I am a stickler. I've allowed, not like this loud. My ring on my phone is off, but my alarms are turned up to the highest volume.
Do you find that it's easy did your children, if you don't mind me asking you this question,
Yeah.
did your children, were they open to listening to you about the values that you had, even as a coach or as a father, about being on time and being highly disciplined and managing money? Or did you go through the normal things that, for example, that I go through with my teenager, which I'm the last person, he might respect me, but he doesn't really
I'm
want
a
to listen.
reader, so I read a bunch of books like when they were tiny, before they were born. I picked up some things that somebody already went through already. So the normal teenage thing, but I had them early enough to know that when I speak, even if you don't like what I'm saying, then hush and listen. And so I had the normal teenage things whatever fall out of that kind. But they always knew that it was never a conversation where I'm kind of old fashioned, I guess. People say maybe a little different, but the scene and not heard.
And so if you had a teenager who disrespected you or a coaching client who disrespects you, what do you do?
The teenage thing is funny. It never, I can honestly say that that never happened to my knowledge, because I have zero tolerance on things like that. So, client wise, I tell them up front again when I first tell them, when you first start out, you might be some things you may not like, but if it's things that if you're offended to that level, I usually give you a session that I do. If you're going to be offended, and if I think you're too sensitive, I refer you to another coach. Because I don't want that to cause you not to get what you're supposed to. And also don't want to go to where I am dialing down my gifts.
Would you coach someone year after year after year, or would you say this is a time limit? After we do this many sessions, I'm going to move on? Do you allow
That's
people
one,
to stay with you for years?
yeah, that's one thing that my coach has been always laughing again, because I'm the person that will fire people or say, you got it, now we're done. So they signed up for just say a year or 6 months is the two things. And if they get it in 3 months, we're done. What do you mean? And yeah, we're done. Wait a minute. No, no, no. I'm not here to take your money. We're done. And now, what are you talking? And so I've done that in the past. That's what I fixed. So can we talk about me starting a business coaching? Now that's fixed. Can we talk about me leading coach again in my career? And so I've had people do that. Yes.
You're a unique bird, James.
Yeah.
He really, really is.
I don't know. Sometimes I have a hard time saying, well, is this totally the truth? You didn't have any problems with your teenager and I'm suffering. What's going on? Why is your
Yeah.
side of the fence so different than my side?
Well, it's with that is, I guess you can say strict, or people say strict. But it's just, at the end of the day,
So
my
James,
comment.
so James, how do we get
uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, you said, how do we get? You were frozen after how do we get?
No,
how
no,
do
no.
we
She's thinking.
get signed up with you so that you can teach us how to coach and make all of this money?
Oh, well, the first thing to do is he needs to call me and we can get that schedule. And that's 866-775-5233. That is the best way to reach me. And then what I tell them to do, what I basically want people to just find out your niche in the market, because everybody needs something. So if you figure out, once you start walking your purpose, the money will hunt you down. If you're going in it for the money, your success will not be successful, in my opinion. It just doesn't work that way. But if you're going in it for the purpose of someone needing what you have in your headspace, then the money will pursue you.
What is your website, James?
It's welldrivenlife.com.
What is your tagline?
Best coach.
It still makes me smile, but I like it.
I like that.
Because there's something that you've been through or gone through that people need to hear. There's something there's something in the market that you have done or you have had done to you that someone needs to hear and see. So, and I personally don't think it's fair for us to keep our gifts. They're meant to be given away.
Are you thinking about redirecting or changing or added to your business? I somehow get the idea that you're ready for change, but I don't know where you're headed. Is that
Well,
accurate?
well, yeah, no, yes and no. I changed it a little bit in 2017, I believe, 17, 18. Is that my coach had me start focusing more on CEOs and also just because they started tracking that in about that time, and pastors were either committing suicide, leaving a pulpit, or just doing other things they shouldn't be doing. And so it's because they have no one to talk to. When I researched that, I realized, when I taught it, I realized it makes sense. They talk to their spouses. Now their spouse wants to be the pastor. They talk to their board. Now their board says they're too weak, they need to go. They talk to society. Society says you should. But then they're stuck in a quandrum of where place to go.
James, can you put your website in the chat?
Yes, I sure can.
James, can you put your website in the chat?
Yes. Again, it's
In
outdated.
the chat?
It is. Yeah, doing it right now.
Okay, well, it's 8 o'clock. So someone wants you to put it in the chat so they can get it. And 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Well, I think we've dissected you and put you back together.
What is James, what is your website? Let me type it so some Facebook Live people can get it.
Okay.
Give it to me.
Yeah, it's welldrivenlife.com. DRIVENLIFE. Welldrivenlife.com.
Do you ever invite your coaching clients on here, James, to hear you speak?
I do actually. Yeah, a lot of them time-wise didn't work out time-wise, but yes.
Would they be getting it from you as a coach?
Oh no, they'd be good. Yeah, it'd probably be why I tone it down. But no, I just tell people that, because people need to be kind of say it different, I guess. People need to be grabbed by the shoulders, by the collar. Some people to be punched. They need to realize that they're good enough. They're supposed to be where they are. And there's my opinion, there's no such thing as be further ahead. No, you're exactly where people get caught up in the whole, as like I said last week or so, that my friends are successful. Well, I challenge you. I really do. I challenge you to sit your friends and have a friend conversation and say, look, off the record, are you really making $100,000 a day? No. Just because your friends, if you have that, again, 3 circles, your outer circle from across the street, your next level is arm, and people know where they need to be. Sometimes our emotional selves, we drag people from across the street. and we make them speak without them applying that position.
Would you repeat that last part? I didn't hear it.
Yes, sometimes we take people and we drag them into another level of friendship or circle, excuse me, or whether they not apply. They apply to be your across the street friend. And because we're emotional beings, we make them our cheek friend. And then our little feelings, which are false, mean nothing, get hurt. And I call it self-inflicted pain, which I have almost zero tolerance for.
A wise friend once told me, he's an older gentleman, hopefully we'll interview him one day. He said, "See you and has no plans for your improvement."
Yeah, that's right. And we'll tell you,
Okay, we're gonna have to,
I guess it's the end of the party, James.
okay, we're gonna have to end this party. It was really good, really good, really good. All right, guys, after 8, so we're gonna say good night. I want to thank everyone that came on to listen to us tonight. It was really awesome, really awesome. Okay.
Good night.
night,
Good
Good night,
night.
everyone.
Good
Good night,
night.
everyone.
good night.
Good night.
Night.